Parts of you are being sold on the black market and you don't even realize it. Oh no, I'm not talking about organs, no need to panic, but it's true. Some parts of you are being sold, some are being changed, and all that without you even noticing. Let's not be vague anymore. I'm talking about data. Information about you. Your age, your gender, where do you live, what are your interests, what are your political views. How much time are you willing to spend looking at this specific meme, and how much at this cute picture of a cat? Pinterest, Snapchat, Reddit, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. If you yourself don't have an account on one of these, you still probably have heard at least one of those names. Social media are at this point inseparable elements of our lives, and especially for our generation, it's hard to imagine a world without them. I mean, they are wonderful. Just a bunch of clicks and you can connect with someone who lives on the other side of the globe. People have found organ donors through social media. Lost friends were reunited. And also, it's just a way of spending time when you don't have anything better to do. So, on the ground level, there is nothing bad about them. It's just a tool, like a hammer, for example. You can use it to build something pretty, something useful, like a birdhouse. But some people just prefer smack others with it on the head. And it's not like the hammer is the guilty party, it's the person that holds it. Social media are free to use, right? But I mean, how exactly? Someone has to pay for them to run, right? That's where advertisers come in. Advertisers pay for their ads to be there on your For You page, but also for them to reach their targeted audiences, like protein products for people who work out, or handmade jewelry for those who support small businesses, and so on. I'm sure many of you were in a situation where you saw an ad for something that you were actually interested in before you even had a chance to search for it yourself. And that's not magic, and no one is spying on you, I promise. That just means that the algorithms are working. And for them to work, they need data, a lot of data. So when someone tells you, don't spend so much time on your phone, they are monitoring you, they are stealing your secrets, that's partially true. I mean, no, there is no FBI agent watching you through your webcam, but there is a program written in your favorite app that calculates all the data it can find about you, based on your profile. How long did you stare at this picture? Did you leave a comment under this post? And then it turns that data into information what ads show to you. So the product that advertisers actually pay for is your attention. Advertisers pay and social media assure that their ads are gonna reach targeted audiences. But that's not only what they are providing. They are also making sure that you're going to spend as much time as possible looking at your screen so they can show you more ads and therefore get more money. So yes, social media are kinda designed to be addictive. And how do they assure that users are gonna stay engaged? Well, the answer is rather simple. With controversies and contents that people are going to have strong reactions to. Politics, conspiracy theories, human tragedies. The algorithms are designed a certain way, that they are going to suggest you content that is the most clickable, content that people engage the most eagerly with. And here's where a huge part of the problem lies. The algorithm doesn't know what's harmful. It doesn't know what's true, what's false, what's gonna awaken angry reaction in people. But it's not an evil AI designed to doom the world for sake of some supervillain by any means. It just doesn't know the concept of facts and fake. It calculates what people engage with, and as I said, sadly, most eagerly people engage with negative content. And once you interact with that kind of content, the algorithm is going to show you more and more of it, because it thinks that this is the kind of content you want to see, that you are interested in. This is the way people fall into this wormhole full of hate by just reading some headlines and not even the whole articles they see. Barely anyone is checking facts these days anymore. even if it would only take just a few quick searches. Because, I mean, why bother if you have this information served right to you on a silver plate? I mean, it's on the internet, right? So it has to be true. And how the other person that I'm arguing with doesn't see that obvious information that is right here in front of me? But here's the thing. Everyone gets a different For You page. And wow, obviously, no surprise here, but no one really thinks about that. Here's a funny exercise that I did. On my two devices, my laptop and my smartphone, which I'm using both pretty often, I opened Google and I just typed in the search bar the phrase "climate change is" and let the auto search fill in the sentence. If you thought I'm gonna get two different results, then you are absolutely correct. On my laptop, it was stuff like climate change is real, climate change issues, to climate change and health. On my phone, though, I got more questionable things, starting with climate change is a hoax at the very top, and climate change is not caused by humans. These both were my devices I tried this on. I'm using them both, and I know climate change is real. Now, imagine comparing results that two different people would get while searching information about, for example, coronavirus vaccines. Imagine if that was the case not on Google, but on Wikipedia. Can you imagine something like that happening? Wikipedia showing different things to different people? One study that I found that also stuck with me was one made by A.B. Richards and Olivia Little. It was a small independent study. In this case, it was TikTok's algorithm. You know, that funky app you can do lip sync on and silly dances. The title of that study was TikTok's algorithm leads users from transphobic videos to far-right rabbit holes. The researchers created a new TikTok account and interacted only with content that they identified as transphobic. And then, even though they solely interacted with transphobic content, they found that their For You page was increasingly populated with videos promoting various far-right views. Here are some key findings that the study found. Exclusive interaction with anti-trans content spurred TikTok to recommend misogynistic content, racist and white supremacist content, anti-vaccine videos, anti-Semitic content, ableist narrative, conspiracy theories, hate symbols, and videos including general calls to violence. Of the 360 total recommended videos included in our analysis, 103 contained anti-trans and/or homophobic narratives, 42 were misogynistic, 29 contained racist narratives or white supremacist messaging, and 14 endorsed violence. When we live in an environment that is full of angry, hateful, polarizing content, it erodes our civic trust, it erodes our trust in each other, it erodes our ability to want to care for each other. Those are words of Frances Hogan, the most famous whistleblower in recent months. If you're not familiar with the term, whistleblower is usually an employee who exposes information within or activity within a private, public, or government organization that is deemed illegal, immoral, unsafe, or abuse of taxpayers' funds. And she did exactly that. Facebook is certainly the one social media that is affecting societies around the world the most. Frances Hogan managed to secretly copy thousands of pages of Facebook's internal research. These files show that even though Facebook is telling people that it's making progress in fighting with misinformation, hate and violence, those are just lies. One of the documents reads, "We estimate that we may action as little as 3 to 5% of hate and approximately 0.6% of violence and incitement on Facebook, despite being the best in the world," added. Another of those files shows that 13.5% of teenage girls that use Instagram has said that Instagram makes their suicide thoughts worse, and 17 has said that Instagram makes eating disorders worse. And as they get more and more depressed, they are using Instagram even more. and they end up in this awful cycle where they hate their bodies, consume more of Instagram's content, these photos of women with perfect bodies, and they hate themselves even more, and so on, again and again. In her testimony before the Senate Commerce Committee, Ms. Hogan has stated that there is an extremely thin line between browsing for healthy recipes and algorithms showing you anorexia-related contents. But hey, guess what? It gets worse. Have you heard about the Rohingya genocide in Myanmar? Yes, it's still the same TED Talk about social media algorithms, and I just used the word genocide. If you haven't heard about it, I'm not blaming you. I myself haven't heard about it until like late 2020. But it's something that happened, and Facebook plays a role in it. Not by itself, of course, but as a tool. In Myanmar, Facebook was so widely used that many people there thought that Facebook actually is the whole internet. And what happened is members of Myanmar military made sort of campaign using Facebook that targeted the country's Muslim Rohingya minority group. They made fake accounts pretending to be celebrities, pop stars, blogs not related to the military at all, or news pages. And at some point they started to spread, to call it fake news, it's a little too gentle, just blatant lies. Stories about how Islam is a global threat to Buddhism, or how Buddhist men abused Muslim women. They even posted sham photos of corpses that they said were evidence of Rohingya perpetrated massacres. When Facebook decided to take an action and take these accounts down, they each had around 1.3 million followers. To compare it to something, Polish president has the following of 1.5 million followers on Twitter. The situation didn't calm down. The Rohingya people were discriminated against, abused, and even killed. And one day in August 2017, it just turned up into straight up slaughter. It's still ongoing, if anyone was wondering. In all of this, more than 24,000 Rohingya people were killed. 700,000 fled the country in a year. And all of that is just the tip of the iceberg. After learning all that stuff that I just presented, I personally turned off all the notifications in my phone, uninstalled. Okay, I'm not going to lie, I only uninstalled Pinterest, but it's still something. Why did I even pick this subject in the first place? Because it's fascinating is not the right word here, it's important. It's important for people to know, to be aware of. And also because, well, maybe I am just kind of scared. It's awful to know that you live in a system where companies put profit over people. In a system where everything, even your mental health, is being exploited without you even knowing it for sake of bunch of people in Silicon Valley to fly into space. In a system where a tree that has been growing for longer than generations of people have lived, a tree that is providing us with air to breathe, literally something we can't live without, is worth more cut down, dead, than alive. But I guess I'm also hopeful. I believe that social awareness maybe isn't what will fix the problem, but is some small part of it. It's like a jigsaw puzzle. One piece isn't enough, but without it the whole picture will never be complete. So I am hopeful, because if we give up hope, then what's left other than despair? Thank you.